The guy looked at his watch and continued to write in his diary. I marked on my watch the time we had left according to the robot assistant. Less than 46 hours. If what the teacher said is true, then if the rescuers do not arrive within 2 days, we will all die. All but one of them. He was writing it down, with obvious tension on his face. From now on, I will write down in this diary everything that happens in as much detail as possible. He decided for himself. Until I'm gone. The thoughts of the guy sitting next to the big tree became more and more depressing. Meanwhile, the children were summing up the roll call. Igarashi and Nikaido were not at the roll call. Said the guy with the long hair. I think I just saw Nikaido around here. The other boys said. Ah, well, then only Igarashi is missing. They answered him. The girls nearby gossiped without even lowering their tone. This Nikaido is always on her mind. Said one girl. I don't like her, she's so unsociable. Another woman answered her. The long-haired guy continued to ponder. There must be something we can do before the rescuers arrive. Let those who are able to move help with the wounded and see if there are any ways to other areas. He said. He turned to the teacher. Teacher Mamas, you don't mind, do you? He asked. No, do what you planned. The woman answered. The guys behind him were clearly unhappy that he was talking so much. Why is Yohata in charge here? The boy asked the other one. And why not? He's a model student. They answered him. The other students panicked much more. When will the help that teacher Senda talked about come? One boy spoke. What's going to happen to us? The girl was crying, covering her face with her hands. Judging by the fact that there is no news outside, things are really bad for us, right? The guy was talking, biting his nails. Well, yes. I can't get online. And in general, any connection does not work. The guy with the phone in his hands answered him. However, not everyone was prone to panic. It's cool, isn't it? Said the fat kid. Not funny. Another guy immediately shut him up. Also, the children did not forget about the recent incident. Mamas's teacher says that Senda's teacher's death was an accident, but how can you accidentally stick a knife in your back? The children were thinking. Ichinus, watching all this, made notes in his diary. Everyone began to realize how suspicious this situation was. Nikaido told me to keep quiet. But I don't think that's the best option under the circumstances. I'm still too young to know what to do better. But I'm sure that someone adult, like Mamas's teacher, knows the best way out of the situation. For now, it's better for her not to know about it. The guy started looking around for his girlfriend. Nikaido doesn't seem to be around right now. The guy concluded. Having plucked up the courage and approached the teacher, he said. Teacher, can I talk to you for a minute? The woman wiped her eyes and asked. What is it, Ichikawa? A question immediately flashed through his mind. Are these tears? But after that, I corrected the teacher. My name is Ichinus. And then he began his story. Actually, due to the fact that the air supply system is damaged, the oxygen will run out in 2 days. And, apparently, we will also not be able to send a SOS signal, so it is unlikely that they will come to our aid. Almost in one breath, the guy cut out and continued. When the oxygen runs out, we'll all die. Therefore, teacher. The woman, listening to him, took a deep breath and then abruptly interrupted the guy. Listen, Ichinus. Now is not the time for such childish pranks. The woman said sternly. The guy didn't understand her reaction a bit. The woman continued to speak. This ship belongs to a company carefully selected by the school, so in the event of an emergency, crisis management will also be carried out properly. Besides, Teacher Senda has already said that help will come. The teacher lied. Peen answered her. The woman started screaming. An experienced specialist like Senda's teacher would never do that. We just can't get in touch with other areas of the ship. The air supply system is in order and they will come to our aid soon. The woman screamed, but trying to convince herself of what she had said. But the guy didn't listen to her, and he said. Oh, right. You can ask the robot assistant and see for yourself. What I have just told you, I learned from the conversation between Senda's teacher and the robot assistant. Nikaido was watching the whole conversation from the darkness. The guy took the teacher to the robot, and lo and behold, they were already walking down some kind of corridor. Most recently, the portholes were open. They showed the crew members thrown out. The guy was talking. They are now down. He said as he drew level with one of them. He touched the metal and said. If they were up, it would be much easier. You'd know right away how bad it is. Suddenly a robot came up to them and said. All shutters are down to ensure the safety of passengers. You are welcome. Keep in mind that we cannot raise them until the situation permits. The guy answered the robot. I'd like to make sure of something. The robot started talking. Is the air supply system faulty? There were no reports of damage. The guy didn't understand why he was lying, but the robot kept talking. I accompanied Teacher Sendu during the ship status check. Nothing like this was found. Ichines started to panic because robots don't lie. When suddenly he remembered the words of the teacher during a conversation with the robot. I wish you wouldn't tell the other passengers about this. We don't need any extra panic. The man was talking. That's exactly what the guy got hooked on and shouted. Oh, I see. You must be following Teacher Senda's orders. The robot did not want to tell the truth. What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. The guy didn't let up and grabbed the robot by the head. He's dead. The order doesn't matter anymore. But the robot only answered coldly. Please refrain from aggression. He ignored the boy and turned to the teacher. Then I'm going back to work. The woman nodded and said. That's enough, thank you. Then she looked at the boy and said. Now everything is clear. But he continued to scream. No. It's not like that. What do you think about the death of Senda's teacher? Do you really think it was suicide or an accident? It was like this. He tried to kill Nikaido, who found out how it really was, but in the end he was killed himself. The woman's patience broke and she screamed. Enough. First of all, if we are really in such a hopeless situation, why would Teacher Senda hide it? And there's no way I'm going to believe that he wanted to kill a student just because she found out about it. The guy started to explain. Because there's only one on the ship. But he stumbled. After all, I remembered her words. Only one will survive. The fewer people who know the truth, the better. The boy quickly nullified all aggression and said. Yes, perhaps you are right. The woman immediately changed her face and said. I understand that this is a difficult situation. Because of the excitement, you screwed yourself up and made up who knows what, it happens. Then she put her hand on his shoulder and said. If something bothers you, contact us. It's bad to keep everything to yourself, isn't it? Then she leaned a little closer and asked. By the way, you're visiting the school psychologist, aren't you? Emotional instability at your age is normal, especially in a situation like this. There's nothing to be ashamed of. The guy still couldn't listen to it and brushed his hand off his shoulder and shouted. That's not the point. The woman could only silently stare after the fleeing boy. Ichines tried to address the girl who was standing next to him and holding something in her hands. Nikaido. He spoke uncertainly. The girl turned to him and asked. What? I'm sorry, I just told Mimosa the whole truth, but she didn't believe me at all. Could you come to her too? I understand that you want to keep this whole situation with Teacher Senda a secret, but now is not the time. Nikaido smiled easily and pretending that she didn't know anything, said. What are you talking about? The guy did not understand what was going on and only made a sound in incomprehension. You mean the time we went to get the first aid kit? I remember that the teacher was talking about something with the robot. But they were so far away that I couldn't hear anything. And then we immediately returned to the central square. The guy didn't understand what was going on at all. Ichines, you seem to be a little overworked, aren't you? Turning to him, the girl asked. Then she turned around and left. The guy's hands were shaking. He didn't understand what was going on. He was frantically trying to find answers. I definitely heard it. He thought. Suddenly, a terrible thought came to his head. And if it was all my misunderstandings? Because of that explosion, I lost my mind. I saw them talking from afar. Did I make up their conversation myself? Ichines began to doubt his sanity. Taking out a pill, he spoke out loud. I was told that this pill would calm me down in such situations. Then it's completely illegible. The man who was reading this diary spoke up. And what is it? I asked him another question. A crazy kid's fantasy diary? Or was he writing a fiction novel? It sounds like a cheap story that a kid his age could come up with. I don't think it's worth taking what's written in it for the protocol of what happened on the ship. The one who read it reacted to this story a little differently. Maybe so, but let's read a little more. Mama's teacher was sitting with her head on her hand. Several girls came up to her and started talking. Teacher, Shikata is raising her arms again. Then a boy came up. Teacher, my pants are missing. She asked a perfectly reasonable question. What do you want from me? Do I look like your mother? The guy just mumbled softly. Okay. Looking after the departing teacher, the children talked. It looks like Mama's teacher is angry. The second one was talking. She just got a job with us this year and doesn't look like a teacher at all." The woman moved away from everyone and began to think out loud. "I'm not cut out for this." Then she started screaming and calling for someone. "Is there any living adult? Anyone?" She fell to her knees and began to cry. Senda's teacher died. "I'm the only adult now. Last year I was a student, what do you all want from me?" Ichines, who was passing by, noticed the whole scene. Then he said it out loud. "I thought she treated me badly, but she has a lot of problems of her own." Then he noticed Nikaido passing by and called out to her. The teacher continued to feel sorry for herself and wanted to quit. But suddenly she began to realize. She began to find a connection with Nikaido's trip to the kitchen and the death of the teacher. She finally began to realize that the child's words were true, which meant they really only had 2 days left. She pulled herself together. She's a teacher and she has to be strong. Analyzing the whole situation, Ichines reflected. Children tend to think of teachers as rescuers, forgetting that they are also people with their own problems and weaknesses. We need to try to take the situation into our own hands and not shift responsibility. Maybe if I discuss this with everyone, we can come up with something. He turned to the headman. "Hey Yahata. I wanted to ask you something. Something terrible is happening on this ship right now." But he did not have time to finish because someone urgently called all the children. The children shouted that Mamas's teacher had hanged herself. Upon seeing this picture, Ichines froze in shock. The woman was hanging on a pile of wires. "Teacher. Why did you do that?" A crowd of children was shouting. Someone shouted that she needed to be removed from there. Ichines, meanwhile, was lost in thought. She couldn't stand the burden of responsibility? Or is it because of despair after realizing that my words are true? Did she hang herself? Or Nikaido, who recently passed by here, helped her? The guy imagined what it might look like. After that, he found the girl and pinned her against a wall. "What are you doing?" he asked her. "Again? Why did you do it again?" The girl pretended again that she did not understand anything. "What are you talking about? You've been kind of weird lately." But the guy wanted the truth, so he didn't stop. "I told the teacher about that secret. You killed her so no one else would know about the cryo chamber, right? If I tell anyone else, will you kill them too?" The guy was shouting. "What do you want to tell me? I don't understand what you're talking about," she said with a puzzled face. "Ichines, are you crazy?" the girl asked with a smile. The man in the spacesuit asked his friend to stop reading. "Okay, that's enough. I'm not interested in fantasies. This diary does not seem to have any value as a documentary evidence of those events. It's just a novel painted by a child at his leisure." The reader objected to him. "But obviously there was some kind of accident with this ship, maybe there will be some clues in this log." But the other two immediately contradicted him. "Maybe so, but I've had enough. Let's get busy instead of reading children's stories. Don't forget why we came here," the man said as he walked into the dark passage. "Exactly. I hope there's something valuable here." But their conversation was interrupted by the reader. "Hey, look at this." When everyone came up to him, he said. Judging by everything, these were not fictions. The body of the suspended teacher appeared in front of a group of treasure hunters. The group moved further and further into the ship. Suddenly, one of them thought that someone was watching him. The second one laughed and made a joke. Could it be the ghost of that dead teacher? The guy in the scary spacesuit asked them to shut up. In an environment like this, thoughts of ghosts may come to mind on their own, but he did not have time to finish because the floor collapsed under him and he instantly flew down. At the last moment, his comrades managed to grab him. Then they began to pull him out of the sinkhole. If they hadn't had time to grab him, the man would have fallen straight onto the sharp fragments of pipes and there would have been one less member of the group. The narrative shifts back to Ichinosa. While all the other children were asleep, he sat and reflected that they had fallen asleep precisely because of the shock of the death of both teachers. But he himself could not close his eyes. He began to doubt his adequacy again. His thoughts returned to the starting point. But no one believes me. Even Nikaido. What can I do alone? But his thoughts were interrupted by a loud cry for help. The children were already crowding around the site of the collapse. They recognized Igarashi under the rubble. The girl was alive, but the blockage trapped her under it. Ichines didn't understand what was going on. He was brought out of his stupor by the cry of another student, asking him to help him. No matter how the children tried to sort out the blockage, but removing the small bricks did not get any better. They also noticed that artificial gravity had stopped working. When the pile of debris was finished, only a huge column remained. They didn't have the strength to move it. They came up with a plan. Move the column a little and pull out the girl. The strongest of them all volunteered to do this. Muguruma. They tried to convince him, but a schoolboy who looks 40 asked everyone to shut up and act. With all his efforts, he ran into a pillar. His veins bulged from the exertion. But it gave its result, and he raised the column anyway. After his scream, the children began to pull out the victim. Together, the guys managed to free the girl from the reinforced concrete trap. It turned out to be completely intact. There are no serious wounds. The children were smiling happily. When suddenly the girl coughed. The next moment, she opened her eyes. Igarashi, how are you? You can go, boys, I'll keep an eye on her. You've been friends with her since childhood, haven't you, God-I? Something like that. Our houses are in the neighborhood. Her mother asked me to keep an eye on her if anything happened, so I was on my guard. We found her, thanks to the fact that God-I persistently searched for her without a break. Lovebirds. You're probably already dating, right? No, not at all. Don't deny it. Girls always have one thing on their mind. Yeah, well, it was a great trip. I knew I had to cancel everything. I heard that many people were against it at the parents' meeting. Hey. Why is that? Don't you know? Recently, there have been frequent skirmishes in this area between ships that travel between Earth and Proxima Centauri and the resistance against the United Earth government. Our state supports the United Earth government. So they're attacking our ships too. We were forced to go on this trip partly to show our support for the United Earth government. And to show that no one can resist the military dictatorship. Well, you can look at it that way, God-I, are you opposed to our current regime? No, I didn't mean anything like that. Then watch your mouth, especially when we arrive on Earth. If you let yourself blurt out something like that there. Yes, I know. But you know, my father told me that discrimination against those born in the colonies is getting worse and worse. The current president said that those born in the colonies have unclean blood. Because they live in a polluted atmosphere. It is rumored that he is going to make us slaves of the citizens of the Earth so that we can extract resources for them. Of course, they don't care about our lives. Those who pass their high school exams well and get into a good place can expect to receive the status of a quasi-citizen of the Earth. But for those kids who go to lousy schools like us, it's over. We are simply doomed to live our whole lives as second-class people. Hush. Yahata is still here. Oh, I'm sorry. By the way, you failed, didn't you? And there was a lot of talk. What a pity. So it's possible that it was a resistance attack? It may well be. You know, a couple of hours ago. I was already beginning to get lost, thinking that our situation was hopeless. I thought I was going to go crazy. Of course. Whoever started it. But when we got together anyway and saved Igarashi, I thought. If we work together and solve problems one by one. Maybe we can do something. Exactly. If you have friends, then you will be able to do anything. Oh, Nikaido. You'd think you were following me. What I told you about the other day, it was a figment of my imagination, right? So what difference does it make to you if I tell someone? TC. You denied everything, and Mamas's teacher didn't believe me either. I had almost convinced myself that I had imagined it all. But I found some reliable friends. Thanks to them, I was able to think it over soberly, and I think I understood why you said that. You did it to shut me out from the rest. If I didn't trust myself or others, you would be the only one who would know about the cryo chamber. And in that case, you would be the only one left alive. Am I wrong? You're such a simpleton, I thought you'd fall for it easily. It's a pity, but it's your own fault, isn't it? I asked you not to tell me. But you broke your promise right away, so I had to teach you a little lesson. I'm sorry, but I can't trust you. Yahata and the others deserve more trust than you, they are my friends. How can you be so dumb? Didn't you give away the secret? Yes. But one day it had to be done, otherwise nothing would work. If you want, be with them, but don't even think about revealing the secret. Do you think the fewer people who know about hibernation, the more likely I am to survive? This is not. It's just you or me right now. 50-50. Not so bad. Imagine what would happen if the smart guy Yahata or the strongman Muchiruma found out about it. You can't, can you? Don't worry. Even friends have different secrets. Will you kill me? Then you'll be the only one left. We are friends who share a secret. We won't touch each other. For now. Judging by what I read, the girl turned out to be sick in the head. Do you think so? That's how friendship works. People only cooperate as long as there is mutual benefit, don't they? No one will ever trust someone completely. Are people really that miserable? Oh? Don't tell me you're the kind of person who believes that all people are naturally kind. Not at all. But. Wait. I seem to have caught on to something. The next moment, a huge blade flew past him, but they managed to pull him back. The huge blade was spinning in a circle, preventing people from getting out. The next moment, when they tried to get out, the blade grazed one of them. His oxygen tank was damaged and he flew into another person. What the fuck? The oxygen tube is broken. Hurry up, shut her up. Was it a trap? These things are definitely made to kill. I wonder who. Looters like us, though I don't think so. It is possible that that collapsed floor was also a trap. It seems that we should not wait for an easy walk. There are more traps here. The men were making their way into the ship. Let's go back and find another way. Are you sure it's time to read? We don't know much about this ship, and it's not just about traps. Maybe I can find some clues here. You've become obsessed with this diary. Well, to hell with it. Just don't fall into another trap. Continuing to read the diary. Hey, Ichinus, I'm bored. Let's play something. An ultra hero. That's enough, Shichiho. Now is not the time for games. Are you still messing with that diary assignment? All the teachers are dead. You don't have to do your homework. Maybe, but. Ichinus. A boy from the group called out. What is Mikami? We decided to get together and go look for the robot together, ask him what's going on. Yes. Well, okay. Let's go. A group of people approached the robot. Tell me what's going on with the ship right now. And when will they come to our aid? The robot answered sternly. I can't answer the questions. The administrator has imposed restrictions on the disclosure of information. What other restrictions are there? Take them off. Now that all the teachers are gone, you're the only one who knows what's going on the ship. The administrator is Enri Senda. To revoke administrator privileges, your ID and password are required. Senda-sensei is already dead. So these restrictions should have been lifted. If you intend to change the administrator, you must first enter the ID and password of the current administrator. Said the robot. The boy started screaming. How should I know them? In this case, the changes will not be accepted. Said the robot. How the fuck did they program this artificial intelligence? That he can't do anything in an emergency. The people at that travel agency must be some bastards to buy such a garbage robot assistant on their ship. We're in a bad way. There are no adults left at all. And we don't know when help will come. Did you send an emergency signal at all? If you believe what Senda-sensei said, then yes. Well, actually. Why would sensei lie about something like that? Mugeruma is right. He was too harsh at times, but he was still a good teacher and always took care of us. What are you doing, Ichinus? Ichinus didn't know what to say. The boy held out his hand to him and said. If you have friends, then you can do anything. We're friends. Who share a secret. The boy said in Ichinus's ear. No, nothing. Nothing? Okay. The boy turned away. Damn. Well, why didn't I say? Oh no, the diary. Did I drop it? I definitely had it with me when I met Shichiho. Looking into the bushes, he found his diary. Here. Picking up the diary, Ichinus exhaled easily. But what should I do? I can't hide it from Yahata and the others forever. Ichinus is healthy. A fat boy got hooked. Sorry, I'm thinking about something here. Ichinus said. It's okay, I just want to ask you about one thing. Where's the cold sleep machine? What are you talking about? Ichinus was scared, his pulse quickened. The diary that was lying here. I read it. I wanted to tease you if there were any stupid rhymes, but no. Everything turned out to be much more interesting. I just flipped through it quickly. But I realized that the main thing was there. In a day and a half. Everyone will die, and only the one who hibernates will remain alive, right? Ichinus started laughing, turning the topic into a joke. You see. I made it all up. You're lying. The fat boy replied sharply. It explains everything that happened to us. It's too realistic for fiction. Even I understand that something abnormal is going on with this ship. I don't want to die either, you know? So let's make friends with you. Have you told anyone about this? I asked Ichinus a question. Do you think I'm stupid? It's clear that such a thing needs to be kept secret. But if you try to dump me, I'll tell everyone about you. Suddenly, someone called out to two of them. Are you fighting there? No, Nikki, the fat one replied. Get out of here. At that moment, Ichinus began to run away into the dark corridor. Stop Ichinus. A fat boy shouted after him. Nikaido? What? The girl answered. There is one problem. Shichiho found out about everything. The girl was shocked by this information. Taking Ichinus by the throat, she began to scream. Did you tell him? Ugh. No, I was just taking notes in my diary to get my thoughts in order. And he found them. The girl was very angry with him. Gah. Enough. Releasing Ichinus, she turned away from him. Ahem. Shichiho is a freeloader and a talker, you can't trust him. If you screw up, he'll spill the beans. This cannot be allowed to happen. What to do? The girl was scratching her chin. I'm sorry about that time, Shichiho. I'll show you what you asked for. The next moment they were walking across the bridge. That's how I would have done it right away. The cold sleep machine is up there, right? Shichiho was asking a question. By the way, Ichinus, you and I are friends, right? And of course you'll give up the cold sleep capsule to me, right? What Nikaido will say. TC. She knows too, right? As by the way, where is she? At that moment, Ichinus pushes Shichiho. Hey, you. What are you doing? Shouted Shichiho. Suddenly, Ichinus pushes Shichiho off the bridge. Remembering the moments that Nikaido said. He must die. We have no choice. No, don't do that. You can't do that. Ichinus was talking. What are you talking about? You're going to kill him. Nikaido said. What? I won't do it. No way. Ichinus was waving it off. However, the conversation was short and the girl hit Ichinus. Who do you think made all this? But, to kill. We can ask him to become our ally and then he will be silent. I'll make it clear to you, Ichinus, Shichiho despises you and is not going to be your friend. As soon as you tell him where the car is, he'll get rid of you right away. Either you kill him or he kills you. At this moment, Ichinus is breathing very hard with tears in his eyes. I have no choice, I'm sorry Shichiho. Ichinus shouts, pushing Shichiho off the bridge. Stop. Shichiho shouts. However, Shichiho manages to grab Ichinus by the jacket. And the next moment they start flying off the bridge together. Holy shit. Ichinus. What are you doing? You freak. Shouted Shichiho. Sorry. Sorry. Forgive me. I'm going to kill you now. Hitting him in the face, Shichiho said. The next moment, from his thick weight, he breaks off and flies into a cliff. But Shichiho is still a stubborn pig and holds on to the edge of the bridge. Ah. Fuck. Shouted Shichiho. Alright. I won't tell anyone anything. I'll forget everything, just save me. Shichiho begs. Ichinus. We're friends, aren't we? Ichinus thought about it. Friends? Ichinus reaches out to save Shichiho. I'm sorry Shichiho. I almost did something terrible. What am I doing? Calm down. I'm going to get you out now. Ichinus has already started to extend his hand. But at that moment Nikaido appeared behind him with a brick in her hands. And the next moment, she threw a brick at Shichiho. Shichiho immediately flew down from the bridge. He fell right on a sharp pipe and pierced his stomach. The picture was not pleasant as the boy was having fun on the pipe. Done. Was it that hard? Nikaido said. No. Simply. I didn't want. It's you told me. In the end, I did what she said and plunged into the shit even more. What happened to your diary that Shichiho saw? Show it to me. Nikaido demanded. I threw it away. I decided it was dangerous to keep it any longer, so I tore it into pieces and flushed it down the toilet. Well, if so. The girl answered. In fact, he had been hiding the diary under his jacket all this time. Calm down. Behave as usual. Ichinus looked at the silhouettes in the park. Hey Yahata. Ichinus shouted. Ichinus, what happened to your face? The boy asked the question. Nothing, I just hit it. What were you talking about? Oh, well, there are no more teachers and everything is restless because of this. That's why we decided that we should work together and discuss what we can do on our own. I think it's best to do it in the dining room. Ichinus agreed with the boy's idea about the dining room. The loudspeaker started making sounds. Can you hear me? This is Yuhata. I want to talk to everyone and discuss what we're going to do next. Please gather in the dining room. I repeat. Suddenly, water was spilled on the boy. Oh, I'm sorry. Cookie, did I wet you? My fault. My fault. One of the hooligans said laughing. The boy was sitting on his knees and looking at the floor. Shikata. Stop bullying him. The girls were talking. So I'm not mocking you. Shikata replied. He and I are just friends and we just play like that. Hugging Cookie's shoulder, Shikata said. Disgusting? One of the boys spoke, looking at the situation. You know, to be honest. When I transferred to this school, I was very afraid that I would be bullied. But you didn't have any problems, did you? Yahiro. You have a strong character. What do you mean, Mitsuki? I mean it in a good way, she replied. Let's get through this together, supporting each other. After all, we're friends, right? Ichikawa, you and I get along great, but I don't know Mitsuki. Hey. The girl, laughing, took the other one by the shoulders and said. I'm just kidding. The three of us will always be inseparable. Nikki? Ichines, do you know where Shichiho went? Ichines tensed up. No. And what? I just haven't seen him for a long time. Clear. If I meet him, I'll tell him that you were looking for him. Canteen. People at the table. Someone is near the food vending machine. There was delicious food on the tray. There were several boys sitting at the table. Really? It looks like it. I was late because I was taking notes. Almost everyone has finished eating. The whole dining room was looking at the boy. Sorry for being late. Have you started yet? I'm going to have a quick bite. Okay. Said one of the hooligans. Yahata. Start already. Everyone's here. How much longer to wait? Only Chichijul is not visible. Where the fuck did he go? Ichines was shaking on behalf of Shichiho. What? You'd better ask Ichines himself. The guy shouted. What does it have to do with me being here? Nikki? Why are you all looking at me? It's already good to pretend to be Ichines. I saw you. You and Shichiho. I saw you walking down the hallway. I'm sorry about that time, Shichiho. I'll show you what you asked for. I just returned the video game to him. Which I borrowed from him. You're lying. Shichiho told me everything. And about your diary. And that we're all in danger. Remembering Ichines's escape. Stop Ichines. Damn. Did you have a fight with him? Nikki? I just found out a big secret, don't tell anyone. Okay? What are you talking about? Don't worry, I'll keep quiet. Well, what is it? Shichiho said that to me. That at first I didn't believe him and thought it was just another joke. But after he left with you, I never saw him again. I had a bad feeling about it, so I decided to go take a look at where you went. And we came across a dead Shichiho. That time, I asked you about him and you immediately started dodging. Then I was convinced that you killed him. And something that you scribbled in your diary is true. Since you even killed him so that no one would know about him. Nikki, let's step back for a minute. Don't come near me, killer. Do you think you can kill me the same way as Shichiho? I told Shikata and the others about everything. Surely everyone already knows about it. There is enough oxygen for a day and a half. And help is not coming to us. The only way to survive is a cold sleep in a capsule. But there's only one car. You've been hiding it from everyone since the beginning, haven't you? And I called you a friend. No. It's just a misunderstanding. Nikaido told me to have no choice. What does Nikaido have to do with it? Speaking of which, where did she go? She ran away, Ichines said. Did you want to blame it all on her? You thought you'd be saved, didn't you? It's disgusting. You're a coward. Now we have other problems. The ship is in danger, what should we do? That's right, now is not the time to judge Ichines. After you've told me everything. I think it's getting harder to breathe. Hey. Seriously? Don't scare me. Ichines, tell me where the car is. I won't let you go. People were shouting. She's only one, isn't she? Then how do we decide who goes where? Shall we draw lots? And what if you lose? Are you ready to just sit down and calmly wait until you die? And how then? Don't tell me what you're implying. That we'll have to kill each other until we're alone. There was a panic in the dining room. Why did you jump off like that? What are you doing? Ha. We're all from the same school. Classmates. Hey. I have very rich parents. I'll pay you whatever you want. Just give way. What are you talking about, you fool? What's the use of money if you're dead? What are you saying? What? No. You just tried to kill me, didn't you? What? No. Then why do you need this Vika? Why do you need a knife? Come on, you're friends, aren't you? Stop it. Kaya. Careful Ichikawa. It hurts. I didn't do it on purpose. You bitch. What are you doing? What did you say? The truth. Come on, now is not the time for this. Someone separate them. Why? If it wasn't for you. If only you hadn't transferred to our school. We would. The girl stood in shock. What? What are you talking about? The girl kicked the attacker away. So that's it? You're jealous because I took Ichikawa away from you. Before I came along, you were best friends. No. The girl answered sharply. No, it's not. Before she could finish, the other interrupted her and continued. So that's why you were acting like that? I'm telling you no. What? I can't hear you. Shut up already. Sharply striking with her left hand, the girl said. At this moment, the girl stuck a fork in the neck of the offender. Everyone was shocked by this. Blood sprayed in all directions. What are you? The girl fell unconscious in a pool of blood. Mitsuki. Killed Yuhiro. No, it's the murderer. Everyone started to panic. Run away. The slaughter has begun. I knew it would end like this. Get out. Kill or die. It's your fault. Nikaido said. If they didn't know the truth, they would have died as good friends, Nikaido said. No one can stop it now. Now no one can trust anyone. And now the bloodshed will begin. I've put so much effort into avoiding this. Everything will be in vain because of you. What a pity. Nikaido was clearly unhappy with this event. The crowd was screaming and trying to escape through the small doors. Come on, move it. One man with a knife in his hand stood in the middle of the chaos. Everyone armed themselves with everything they could. Knives, sticks, blades. There were 32 hours and 45 minutes left on the timer. Nikaido told me. Now the real hell will begin. The ship was completely destroyed. That's how the murders started. Yeah, it's a real massacre where everyone is on their own. Not surprising. There is only one cryo chamber, but everyone wants to live. If adults were in their place, the picture would be the same. And these were just children, it's even harder for them to control their emotions. Then suddenly something exploded. Get down. What's there? One of the team was interested. When they looked out, they saw something strange in the hole where the wall had been recently. A six-legged, one-eyed robot. It's a robot assistant. That kid wrote about him in his diary. And is it still functioning? Did he set all those traps? The massacre that took place between the students. You've been watching all this in the front row, haven't you? Hey, come on, it's not funny, is it? I'm sorry. We're friends, remember? Please forgive me. After the incident in the dining room. The heart-rending death cries of my classmates were heard all over the ship. I wonder how many people have already been killed? The guy was sitting in a closed box while children were dying around him, killing each other. Suddenly, a guy opened the drawer. It seems that I'm not the only one who decided to hide here. Mikami? Ichinus took out a knife and wanted to attack him. Wait, Ichinus. I'm not going to kill you. I just want to hide from them. Saved, thanks for letting me in, I didn't know where to hide anymore. And what's gotten into everyone? What are you talking about? Weren't you in the dining room then? I was, but I didn't understand much about this cryo thing and all these quarrels. I understand that we are in a terrible situation, but why should we kill each other? Wouldn't it have been better to find another solution by supporting each other? Or am I just a naive fool? No. You're just a good person. Come on, tell me too. I'm sorry, Mikami, but kind people like you don't live long. At that time, a guy armed with a mop was sitting on the stairs. Then someone called out to him. Shimitsuki. He turned around and saw a guy with two knives and wearing homemade armor. Cookies? What are you dressed up in? What a joke. You got it all in the kitchen, didn't you? Haha. Isn't it a kitchen knife? Give it to me, I don't think you'll need it. But he didn't have time to finish because Cookie cut off his fingers. Oh, my fingers. Ah. Shouted Shimitsuki. Shikata, what should we do? Where did Shimitsuki go? Toji, there's someone there. It's Shimitsuki. It's simple, they've gone crazy. And for what the fuck? Then Shimitsuki hissed, bleeding from his mouth. Shikata. The guys were scared. He's still alive. Hey, bro, how are you? Be careful, it's a trap, a Shitaka. Then the guy looked up and saw Cookie about to drop a fire extinguisher on him. The next moment, Cookie dropped the fire extinguisher. But Shitaka managed to dodge, the fire extinguisher hit the floor so hard that it left cracks. Bastard, Cookie, is that you? He wants to kill us all. For everything we've done with him. He's crazy. Let's run. It hurts, please kill me already. Maybe some other time. The next moment, Cookie chased after the escapees. And Shimitsuki remained sitting against a wall with severe wounds, looking after him. The guy was standing at the panel near the pipes. Then he heard an unexpected hail. Yahata. He turned around, picking up the scissors. Who's here? Wait a minute. We're not going to attack you. Yes, we all need to find a solution and calm down. Mikami indigenous? The guy asked, clutching the scissors in his hands. You're right. I don't want to kill anyone either. Yahata. Are you still mad at me? I'm sorry, I didn't want to hide this from you. They forgot. If I were you, I'd be scared too. It's a pity that it ended like this in the end. But is killing each other the only way out? That's why I came here. So the system controls the oxygen supply here? Yeah, this system is still working. And why did you come here? I remember the robot and the teacher talking about this room, so I decided to go here first. So that's it? Yes. The guys started thinking. It's true, there's enough oxygen for another 30 hours. What should I do? The guys thought about it. By the way, we were told that there are oxygen cylinders on the ship. For emergencies. Precisely. This was discussed when boarding the ship. Perhaps with this we can still hold out until help arrives. Cookie was running down the dark corridor. Another guy was watching him from above, sitting on the ventilation. Then Cookie stuck a knife tied to a broomstick into the vent. It hurts. A scream was heard. The guy fell to the floor. Ha. Crawling up to the wall, he asked Cookie to stop. Stop. All the bullying made me do Shikata. It's all him. You want to get back at him, right? I know where he is. And I'll tell you the truth. Just let me go. Cookie thought for a moment, biting the knife. Then he looked at the guy with disgust in his eyes and said he agreed. He went to the right, to the three-way intersection. I don't think he could have run far. Well, I'll go then. The guy said, walking away. But then Cookie put the knife on his shoulder. You promised you'd let me go. I told you the truth. You tricked me. Toji, you've always made fools of me. The next moment, Cookie killed him with several stabs. Shikata found a fire axe and picked it up. Then Cookie appeared out of the darkness. You didn't show up, Dusty, you fucking shit eater. Meanwhile, three guys were trying to open the door to the warehouse with oxygen cylinders. The oxygen tanks should be behind that door. If they're really there. We can calm everyone down, right? The next moment, Yahata was trying to open the door. When he was able to open the door, they saw an open hole through which all the oxygen cylinders had flown out. There's no way we can get through here. They closed the door together. Ugh. The meteorite hit so close to our wing. Why are we so unlucky? Is there really no other way? Then they saw the shadows of several guys running towards them. Hide. Yahata said and pulled everyone to hide behind a ledge. Is it Shikata and Cookies? Cookie, who was bullied by everyone. Now he's chasing his abuser, Shikata. I didn't know Cookie was capable of this. But after all that Shikata has done, it's not surprising. In fact, I studied with them in elementary school. They were best friends back then. But Shikata was bullied at school then, not Cookie. What? Seriously? Yeah. I don't know how it happened. Shikata and Cookie were fighting in the hallway. Shikata attacked with an axe, and Cookie defended himself with knives. The next moment, Cookie launched a counter-attack and chopped off Shikata's fingers. It's not my fault. This world is divided into strong and weak. The weak are necessary for our society. Anyone can become a victim, and it shouldn't be me. In the next moment, Shikata was able to hit Cookie's head with an axe. But the pan saved him. The creature. What do you think I should have done? Cookie was defending himself with his hand from the axe blow, so Shikata was able to chop it off. Come on, let's play by your rules. The next moment, Cookie falls to his knees and cuts Shikata's legs. Shikata falls to his knees. And the next moment Cookie stabs him in the throat. They both cling to the wall dying, they never understood each other. Is it possible that someone survived after all? The robot blocked the passage, so we won't be able to get to the cryo chamber. The probability is not zero, but why did he set all these traps? It's just a robot assistant bought by some travel company. There was no way he could come up with this idea on his own. Based on the diary, this robot was well aware of the value of the only working cryo chamber. Maybe he set traps on purpose so that no one could get into the cell with the only survivor? Maybe he's just defending himself. If so, can we tell him that we don't intend to kill anyone? It's worth a try. The man went out into the corridor to the robot and said, "Don't shoot. We are the rescuers. There are survivors on this ship, aren't there? You're protecting him, aren't you? The attacker. The attacker. Destroy." The robot replied. The next moment, he started shooting. The man managed to hide behind the wall, but the shots shattered the wall. When the robot stopped shooting, it had already destroyed the wall behind which the man was hiding, but he was not there. They managed to escape. We made a mistake. My god, what's wrong with him? He doesn't look like an ordinary robot assistant at all. The guys and I decided to go back to the dining room for food and drink. But the entrance was barricaded. Who are you? Urban? The guy was asking with an improvised spear. Wait, we're not going to attack you. Or are you for us villagers? What are they even about? It's a yacht with the guys. Come in. The dining room belongs to us, the villagers. Sorry about that, precautions. The city is constantly attacking us. They must be hungry. I hate urban people. Even in such a situation, they look down on us. I can't believe how urban people only raise their hand against their own classmates. And don't tell me. Mom always said, don't hang out with the city kids. Yeah, me too. Damn, Nikaido is here too. After a while, everyone on the ship split into several groups. There has always been inequality between the villagers who lived in the mountains and the urban ones who lived in megacities. It looks like Nugiruma has become the leader of the city. That's how. He's not only good at fighting, but he's also damn smart. I would not like to have such an enemy. And we still haven't elected our leader. Maybe Yahata will become one? No, we just joined you, it would be somehow wrong. Yahata is a reliable guy, I don't mind. You look disappointed. Please don't talk to me. Every time I contact you, it doesn't end well. Did you come here specifically to take over the leadership of the group? No, we didn't even think about it. But to be honest, I think Yahata is perfect for the role of leader. And what will happen to us? This whole situation is getting out of control. I've heard there's a gang of boys who attack girls who walk around the ship alone. Meanwhile, several guys were standing by the obviously scared girl. Would you like to join us? We will protect you. By the way, do you know her? This is Takura, who was always skipping classes. We have a rule at school that in order to finish it, you have to go on this school trip. So she had no choice but to come with us. Come on, don't be stubborn. Keep your dirty hands to yourself, you freak. Takura began to fight back and scratch the face of one of the guys. It hurts. Beast, are you completely crazy? You're all crazy. Said the girl from the darkness. Fucking animals. It's Nanas's hooligan. Holy shit. Mind your own business, big guy. Shut up. Nanas is dangerous. Come on. Just because she hangs out with bullies doesn't make her cool and strong. I won't spare you just because you're a girl. The bazaar is zero. Nanas said. The next moment, she kicked him in the jaw. She continued with a blow with her hand. And ended up with a knee to the stomach. She's so strong. Let's run. The guys shouted, having lost in the fight. Humph. Nanas straightened her hair, rejoicing at her victory. What's your name? Takura, I haven't been to school for a long time, no wonder you don't know my name. So you skipped, huh? Yes, because of one person. I see. Just like me. Looks like. These sperm toxicologists attack single girls. So desperate to lose their virginity before they die. Lose my virginity? But now is not the time for that at all. Guys, what to take from them? And you know a lot about boys' behavior. Yes, it's not that there are just various similar rumors around the school. Rumors? I don't go to school, so I didn't know. I hate boys. It's curious, and I hate them too. Do you have a special reason to despise them? The boys are so vulgar and rude, they're all filth. Actually, I'm a germaphobe, and I hate being in the same room with guys, I immediately feel sick. That's why I stopped going to school. If I die, I want to do it in peace. I won't let them defile me. I'd rather bite off my tongue and die right away. That's how it is. What? Just like that? But what if? Nanas began, looking very gloomy. What are you? Let's trap them. Now murders on the ship are commonplace. I can't do it, what are you doing? But I can do it. God, I don't want to die a virgin. And I haven't been a virgin for a long time. A liar. What? Are you alone? And where did Nanas go? Did she leave you? Haha, bullies are so nasty. Hey, what do you have there? What? The guy saw a strange thing stuck to his stomach. The next moment, he was struck by a strong electric shock. And he threw it back a few meters, killing it. Takura laughed. Pointing a gun at the guys. The guys immediately got scared and ran away. At that moment, Nanas came out of the corridor on their way and killed one of the guys with a metal ball on a chain. Nanis was waiting in front of the guys, and Takura was behind them with an electric cannon. We will punish all rapists. The girls were surrounded by guys, the battle was 2-on-2. The girls had the advantage in weapons, and they beat the guys. You've been touching my breasts recently, haven't you? I will never forgive you for anything. Damn savage. Takura flew with an electric cannon to finish off the guy. But the next moment, the wire stretched and its length was not enough. The guy took advantage of the girl's confusion and stabbed her in the chest. Shit. Nanis said and came to the rescue, killing the guy with a blow to the head. Takura, hold on. Ha, ha. I was killed after all. Nanis, you're not a bully at all, are you? You saved me even though you could have passed me by. The next moment, one of the guys stabbed Nanis in the back. I did it, you're not a virgin, right? That's why you skipped school. You were raped. Everyone knows about it. Ha. That's the way it is. Therefore, I will protect her at all costs. I won't let you tarnish it. Like they did to me. Nanis attacked him. The next moment, the ball on the chain hung on the pipe and hit the guy on the head from above. He tried to reach Takura, but Nanis kept hitting him. As a result, they both died from injuries, and the entire battlefield was littered with corpses, none of those who fought survived. You're not dirty. You're the cleanest girl I've ever met. After all, no one has been able to defile your heart.